Yeah, guys, we need to talk. We need to talk about this. Because if you saw my most recent packing video, you were probably also thinking the same thing. What do you mean this is the last large packing video? Are you stopping doing them? What's going on? So I'm gonna get super transparent and vulnerable with you guys right now and explain some of the shit that's been going on behind the scenes. Let me start by saying that when this whole business idea and these rave kits kind of blew up and went viral, it was an accident. I never planned on this. This was never my business plan and idea that I was like, I'm gonna come out with rave kits. There's a whole backstory posted on my page, numerous different videos about how it all began with the rave scoops and how they evolved to rave kits. Because I was really just trying to clear out the things that I had on hand and was like, I'll put one of each in these boxes and then sell them. And then people were like, don't stop doing these, keep coming back with them. So since April, I have been working my absolute hardest to just keep buying new inventory, turning it around. I did things on pre-order basis. A lot of people waited 4 to 6 weeks for, people were so patient, waiting 4 to 6 weeks to receive their orders. Because the entire time that I've been doing this, I only put $1,000 in at the beginning, and that initial inventory that I had to liquidate and sell out from the scoops was all the money that I put into this to start. And I was never really concerned about the profits to begin with because I didn't know how sustainable this was going to be. So I was not making money for the first probably 200 orders I sent out. If anything, I was losing money because I had never done this before. I'd never managed inventory. I'd never shipped out orders so consistently. I maybe processed and shipped 10 different orders in my whole time before this. And next thing I know, I'm viral on TikTok and I'm fulfilling 50 to 100 orders a month all by myself. Doing everything in my own bedroom, on the floors of my bedroom, in the middle of festival season where I also work music festivals for a living. It's kind of been insane, you guys. As a one-woman show since April, I have been living, breathing, eating, sleeping, shitting fucking rave kits. And don't get me wrong, I love it. This is so much fun. But after I processed about 250 to 300 orders, I realized that I was not making any money. And my generosity and constantly just putting extra things in orders, covering extra shipping costs, just doing everything that I could to give back to the community as much as I could, I was going further and further into the hole. So I wanted to come out with a model that was going to be more sustainable, and honestly kind of just made it worse and harder on myself as a result. Because I didn't really know what I was doing, I invested in a business mentorship and got a lot of support from that. And I'm surrounded by lots of other entrepreneurs and business-minded people in my world, but I was really navigating all these issues and problems all on my own. Not to mention almost getting canceled by someone who was trying to claim I was a drop shipper and scammer. And the imposter syndrome that resulted from that and trying to make a comeback, I was doing everything that I could to basically prove myself. And now I'm pretty in debt as a result of this company, as a result of these rave kits, because it has been a full-time job for me since April, but it has not been paying like a full-time job. So I've kind of just been skating by and sustaining my life so that I could have the time and energy to be able to keep fulfilling orders, because I genuinely don't have time to go get another job, to bring in another income source. So I'm all in on these, completely. Not to mention that I was ready to move to the new and improved model, which is when we came out with the small, medium, and large size kits. I don't know how many of you are even still watching because I know this is just a lot of information, but the small, medium, and large kits were the first time that I was actually going to start to make a profit off of these. But it was also going to be the most expensive drop of inventory that I'd ever done. Every order before that was on pre-order, I basically would wait until I received X amount of orders, maybe it was 30 or 40. I couldn't order any single drop of inventory until I had received X amount of orders to reach the goal to be able to afford the inventory, and I would get everything in batches. And we were bringing in really consistent orders, so it was pretty easy to make $5,000 in sales, turn around, buy $5,000 worth of inventory, then package them all up and ship them out to customers. But when I came up with this idea for the large model, I teased it on social media and it went freaking viral. And that's when I feel I made the worst decision of all along this whole path. I doubled down on the hype, and I really regret it. I genuinely really do. Because based on the response to that video, I was okay, I'm coming out with $400 raid kits. I don't know who's even going to want these or if they're going to buy them. I was planning on only coming out with 50 kits again because I had usually done about 50 to 60 kits that I would release at a time. And we were only going to do 50 total between the small, medium, and large. The video went super viral, had a crazy response to the $400 kits, and I was like, dude, I guess this is what people want, so I need to figure out how to pull this off. I doubled down on the numbers and I decided I was going to do 100 kits instead of 50. If I had just done 50, we would be fine right now, but I didn't. I did 100 because I was like, this is what the people want. I'm trying to meet the demand like I have been, And I was excited. I was planning that I was going to make all this money. I was going to make all this profit finally. This was going to be the best that we've been able to do. I was going to be able to pay off the credit card that I'd been using this whole time to supplement everything. And the marketing was pretty good and the sales initially were pretty good as well too. But the whole pre-order model is also part of where I went wrong with this. because I also went out on a limb and asked the different vendors that I'd been working with and built relationships with if they could front me the inventory and the product in advance because of my pre-order model and that I didn't have the funds to be able to secure it. But I needed to start making packing videos to start promoting the kits so that I could sell more of them. So with numerous different vendors, I did different batches of different products. So as orders came in, I would take the money, I'd buy more products. And there were a few vendors who sent me all of their products all at once without expecting any payment up front. Like, genuinely, I have such a good relationship with all of these people. We're in constant communication, but like, that's a really big leap of faith to take as a small business. Like, I'm infinitely grateful that they were all willing to take that chance on me. But that's where I have that regret because I feel like I bit off more than I could chew. I bought into the hype of this. And I've learned so much along the way already, and that's why we're taking this time and we're kind of just trying to clear out and liquidate everything. Because when I decided to do the upgrade to small, medium, and large, we weren't just working with $4,000 or $5,000 anymore. We're talking $15,000 to $20,000 of total inventory cost to pull the whole thing off. I literally took out loans from family members, put so much of it on payment plans, went out on a limb with most of my vendors, and did everything I could to still bring it to fruition to start marketing them to meet the demand. But they still just weren't selling like I anticipated. I really thought that I was going to be able to turn around and sell all of these kits in a matter of a month or two and be able to pay everyone back. We're going on 4 months now since I started selling small, medium, and large kits. And straight up, I've barely been able to make the majority of the payments to my vendors or to my cousin who loaned me the money. My credit cards are just further in debt. I was able to make the payment plans because I kind of had to prioritize those. But I have genuinely put myself into debt and in one of the worst financial positions I've kind of ever been in to be able to pull these off. And after 4 months of consistently promoting them and trying to sell them and even offering the biggest sale that I ever could that completely cut off my whole profit margin, they still just weren't moving. I know lots of people wanted them, but based on this pre-order model, like, I kind of needed to turn around this inventory relatively quickly because it was a limited edition launch. We weren't planning on kind of doing this the whole time. I mean, unless it was sustainable, then maybe I would. But especially with the state of the economy and of the world, I was like not surprised that people don't have $400 extra to go dropping on rave kits. I totally understand that is basically the cost of a festival ticket. So I had to make the executive call. I had to do something about this because after 3 months in of things still not making the profit that they needed and the money to at least pay the vendors, I was like, yeah, I'm not making profit on this launch. I bought into the hype. I should have only done 50. I started having regrets, started realizing that continuing to just buy these other batches to try and meet the rest of these orders was only further going to cost me more money. And I took a look at the current inventory that I had on hand and what I had remaining without having to order any more batches or put any more money into it and was like, what can I do with what I have, with what is remaining? And that's when I took everything and broke them down into these clear out kits that are on my website right now and the advent calendars because I was like, it's slow season, it's Christmas season, like it's not rave and festival season really, so like let me put them in these advent calendars. That was like my stroke of genius, and I've had more orders come in since doing the advent calendars than I almost did for 3 weeks last month. To go 3 weeks to a month without getting an order when your whole entire everything is on the line was one of the most stressful things ever. Even with consistent marketing, even posting in Facebook groups. I realized that I just couldn't count on TikTok to constantly be bringing in those sales, and this was really the main place that I was only consistently promoting them on. I made a lot of mistakes along the way, okay? I've learned a lot, and that's why I had to figure out what I was going to do next and the future direction of these. So yeah, the small, medium, and large are done. They're gone. They're not happening. The customization was like way too time consuming to be doing as a singular person. I don't have space to continue to be fulfilling orders like that right now. It's slow season and I haven't achieved consistent enough marketing. And frankly, I just can't afford to keep doing this kind of business model right now. Much less sourcing from so many different small businesses created its own flurry of delivery and timing issues as well. So this is the exciting part now where I get to tell you, despite all of the struggles, that of course I'm going to keep doing the rave kids because I have found a love for this and gift giving is my love language. And I love this community so much, and my little Virgo rave mama brain like knows exactly what to put in these. But we need to do it to scale. We need to remove the customization, and I can't go out of my own pocket to keep pulling these off. So right now, I'm just trying to clear out, liquidate, and sell out the rest of what I have to break even, to pay my vendors back, to pay my cousin back. My credit card is still going to be sitting there untouched, but I can at least do my due diligence if I can clear out the rest of what I currently have remaining and take the rest of this time until spring to start preparing for the crowdfunding Kickstarter campaign that I'm going to launch. I'm going to make a whole nother video about the future crowdfunding Kickstarter campaign and what that's going to entail. It is basically going to be a pre-order model, but it means that none of the orders will be fulfilled until we meet our entire goal. And that goal will account for all inventory costs, storage space, fulfillment, and like staffing. It's really going to help us go to the next level, but it's going to be based off of the community's response. And if we don't meet our goal, then it doesn't happen. I can't thank you all enough for supporting me along the way, and I hope you guys will stick around for what's to come. This has been quite the journey, and there's so much I could have never anticipated. But despite all the stressors and financial things, this has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my entire life, and I can't wait for what's next.